Hey, real estaters, you can stream every episode of The Industrialist on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube. Prime members can enjoy ad-free listening on Amazon Music. All right, real estaters, it's halftime. It's the week of 4th of July. All you commercial real estate bros can hit 30A and converse with all the other commercial real estate bros from Atlanta and South Carolina and, all the places. So
30A's were you halftime?
Yeah. I'll be there,
Are you going there?
Leaving tomorrow.
Tomorrow? Okay.
Fly out at 1:00.
Interesting.
So, yeah. There he is. Nardizzle.
What are you, in Jersey?
Am I on?
You're on. Yeah.
I'm on live on the air.
You're
live action.
Yeah, I'm sitting in Spring Lake, New Jersey.
Jersey Shore.
Looking over the ocean. Just really nice compared to looking at the scrolling metropolis of Dallas Fort Worth and all of its fucking concrete.
Well, I was just going over the other beach vacationing of 30A that is all happening and right now.
Oh yes.
Yes.
It's much nicer. The sand's better there.
Yeah. But that's home for you. That's home.
Yeah. It is. So the New York Times wrote a piece. Why go to the Hamptons when you go to Spring Lake? So it's really nice there. So, well, let's rock.
All right. Well, Bella, she's busy. She couldn't be on today, so I'm gonna do her property of the week, which is our portfolio again. We are pleased to present an IOS portfolio totaling 273,427 square feet across 33.88 acres in DFW, San Antonio, and Oklahoma City. Currently 95.94% leased. This offering provides passive income with significant rental upside, and the portfolio has a weighted average lease term of 3+ years and features diverse tenant base across multiple industrial uses. Offers are due mid-July. If you're interested in learning more, please sign up through the portal link in the episode description, and once you've signed up, Isabella will be notified and grant you access to the confidentiality agreement, and you can view the offering memorandum. All right, economic calendar. Initial jobless claims this week, 240K, previous 236. So people are still getting laid off a little more. The U.S. trade deficit comes out this week. They didn't have a forecast, but last time it was out, it was negative 61.6 billion. The hourly wages year over year forecast is to be up 0.3%, 30 bips. And U.S. unemployment rate forecast is 4.3. The previous was 4.2. So that's been creeping up. The Dow gained 1,417 points last week to close out at 43,999. The S&P gained 165 points to close out at 6,190. The NASDAQ closed out at 705 to gain 20,300. Closed out gaining 705 points to close out at 20,336. West Texas crude closed out at $64.78 a barrel, down $3.73. 5-year Treasury closed out at 3.83, and the 10-year Treasury closed out at 4.29. SOFR's at 4.39. Let's see. How did Black Sky do, Jeff?
Well, it had a really good week. Good week. I think you were able to jump in the cloud there at 15 last show.
I got in.
And right now, I looked right before we got on the air here, and it was at 20.44. So that's a nice profit for you. That since we talked about this stock, it's up 82% in 2 weeks.
Golly.
So,
well, people, we're done doing real estate. We're just picking stocks from now on.
You want to buy an 8-cap?
Yeah.
If you want to buy 8-cap, just invest in goods.
There you go.
Right.
What you got any new hot ones for us, Jeffrey?
I don't. I really don't. I'll have to go to the laboratory and do some cooking.
Oh, I got to get back on my podcast episodes, i.e. earnings calls.
Yeah.
I haven't listened to one in a while. Will, have you listened to anyone's lately?
No, I wish I had the privilege. I sat in a car for 24 hours with the kids. So my only privileges were phone calls. The rest was Disney. So
the rest was Disney. Yeah, you got you a new family truckster. How'd that work out?
Oh, phenomenal.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's, I joined the 30, like it's similar crew that's all in 30A with the Yukon XL. So
Yeah.
It's just, life feels at home in the car and amongst your peers now. So just let the ego drive the bank account. So there you go.
Well,
but no, it's great. It's great.
Well, good. Now you can just fill it up with crumbs.
Yes. Yeah, it's expensive crumb shuttler.
Yeah.
So,
all right, commercial real estate stocks. Will, you got those in front of you, or you need me to?
I don't. Can you pull them up?
I got them. I got them. On the 1 week, real estate development led at up 2.28%. Real estate diversified was up 1%, and real estate services up 0.6%. Everything else was in the red. REIT mortgage, REIT hotel, healthcare, office and specialty had the biggest dump. Real estate services led the month. Commissions. So that's every time I see services, it's like commissions. REIT diversified led, was second. Real estate services was up 6.62. Real estate diversified was up 1.57. REIT office up 89 basis points. Everything else was a loser. So U.S. debt increased the normal 29 pounds, and Doge only offset it by 8.8. So
they're letting us down. But I think I saw on Instagram, for what that's worth, Trump was talking, and he said that we have so much money coming in, the budget's all off. And he was saying that they've collected $88 billion in tariffs.
Wow. Hey now.
I haven't fact checked that anywhere, but that's what he said on Fox yesterday.
How about him? How about him telling that I think it's the first time a president's ever told the media the F word when he told them about Israel and
I missed that.
Iran. He goes, "You frankly have two
countries." You missed it.
Oh yeah, they were like, "Hey, President," he was like getting on the Air Force helicopter. They're like, "What do you think?" He goes, "I negotiated a deal, and then they shoot off rockets. You frankly have two countries that don't know what the fuck they're doing."
No, wow.
They were like, "All right." So, anyways, you know what it is? The stuff he's doing is probably working. We really won't know the full body of work until the end, but it's just so.
Yeah, he's moving so fast.
Yeah, and so many people hate what he's doing, but they don't know why they hate what he's doing. They just hate him. So, yeah, I don't know. I think we'll wait till all the test results.
Well, I mean, last week we were on this show. We were like freaking out over the war.
Yeah,
and it almost feels like it's past.
Yeah,
it's like, oh yeah, that was last week that we bombed and kind of got bombed
3 months ago.
Yeah, yeah.
Term of the week. Will, did you put this in here? Because I forgot to do one. So this must be you.
Well, I don't know what it is. I'm not looking at it. For whatever reason, the screen wouldn't load for me. So
okay.
I'm kind of flying blind.
Intrinsically core.
Okay.
Do you know what that means?
Hold up. That came from the iOS convention.
Okay. What does this mean? What does this mean? In what?
Like you would think it's in downtown, but it's in Seagoville. It's a long way from downtown.
I have an idea of what it might mean, but I'm interested to see what the GPT machine spits out.
Let's see. In commercial real estate, the term intrinsically core refers to a property that possesses the fundamental attributes of a core asset, even though it may not be currently stabilized or generating core level income. It's often used to describe that an asset could be considered core if certain conditions like lease up, tenant quality, or capital improvements were met. Key characteristics: prime location, located in a tier 1 or tier 2 market with long-term demand drivers. E.g. urban infill. Okay, so a newly developed Class A industrial warehouse in DFW Metroplex that is still in lease-up may be described as intrinsically core because it is in a top market, is in a best-in-class specs, and once fully leased to the credit tenants, it will offer durable income. Intrinsically core.
So it sounds like value add.
Yeah. It's in the value add stage in a good market.
Okay. You know what that phrase is good for? It's a really good like smoke and mirrors phrase for all the institutions to buy all those metal shit boxes and that the yard and all core.
It's intrinsically core, bro. Like,
is y'all's portfolio intrinsically core?
You damn right it is, Jeff.
Yeah.
Except for it's core.
Because it's core.
It's 95% lease.
But it's can core. You get you advertise with growing lease up possibilities?
No, rental upside.
Rental upside.
Yeah, there's upside in getting more rent out of these people than there is today. And you, Mr. Buyer, get to take advantage of that.
Yeah. I think you should buy it, folks.
Yep. Buy it.
Yeah, I think it's a good deal.
Yeah. Find a friend and syndicate it.
Yeah, figure it out. Friend. You got it.
Okay. I didn't hate anything about real estate last week, Jeff. You?
Yeah, I continue to hate the way that cities act as these little countries and moving the zoning goalpost. Just they're always a problem in a real estate deal. I feel like I feel like I talked about 3 deals last week where it was all like, well, this deal would work if we could get the zoning to make sense. Even though it was originally a warehouse, now we're trying to make it daycare or something.
Man, the more and more the city becomes your business partner, the less and less interesting it is owning all this shit.
Yeah. Keep it simple.
Well, I mean, we won't disclose what this is, but how about what you told me earlier?
Yeah. Just a blatant reach of power.
Yeah. Like, is that even legal?
No. It almost feels like torturous interference.
Yeah.
So, you have a contract, someone's trying to destroy it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah, cities, zoning issues, they're too complicated.
I guess the problem always fundamentally comes back to you have people in the position of power that have no real business making. They have no real true qualification to make a decision like this.
They're so short term, They're like, they get on the city council and they're ready to change the world. And then 4 years later, they're off.
Yeah.
And then here's a property that was originally zoned industrial. And now we're going to, Louisville did some zoning overlay.
Yeah.
And it's 300 pages. And they've since revised it because they've had so much blowback. And they want to build flex, which is a dead product class. Yeah. So just cities.
Well,
more on that though, real quick. It's funny. I listened to Joe Rogan and Bernie Sanders. They had a podcast come out.
yeah.
And Rogan highlighted on there the lack of competition with government entities. And it was just all in the same vein here of like how inefficient government is. And there's no, and he said, I think verbatim, like they're inefficient and outdated because there's no competition. So that's the first time I've heard like a major public figure blatantly call it out like that. Like there's no competition there for when they are just
you can create competition when you represent the tenant against city versus city. But when you're a property owner, you're already kind of pot committed.
Yeah. You're pregnant.
Yeah.
So you can't, and you don't have a vote either because you're only getting to vote where you live. You don't get to vote on.
That's true.
Taxation
without representation.
That's right. Boston Tea Party. There.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm paying them school taxes.
Yeah. Let's go get an excavator out, Jeff, and start pulling the Louisville dump apart.
Okay.
There's no real good lakes or bodies of water up there to spill tea in, but they got a big old smelly mound of trash. So
I tell you something I hate is why do we decide to put our public dumps on the freeway?
Yeah, the Louisville landfill is just a beacon right there.
Yeah, I mean, talk about a bad decision. That, Ferris, Texas, we talked about that big deal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, that whole town it's a mountain of trash when you pull up, but it's not just those two towns. I mean, there's out in Weatherford, they have a giant dump right on I-30. I just don't understand why they're like, let's put our dump on the highway because that'll be the most valuable land.
The Irving dump's on the highway too. Hunter Farrell. It pretty much backs up to 30 right there.
It does. I know at the time it probably saves a little bit of loading cost, but eventually that becomes highway frontage.
Yeah.
The city of Dallas put 2 doors down from us, from our office, they put the crematorium for the city on the freeway.
Yeah. That's the morgue.
Yeah, it's the morgue on the freeway. I mean, I know it needs to, I guess, be close to the hospital, but on the freeway? I mean,
well, Jeff, these are the people that are in control of your real estate decisions going forward on.
Yeah, I mean, that building's going to be there 50 years.
Oh, easily.
You don't move something like that.
No.
So
easily.
I just want to know when they were doing all this stuff for Louisville, they really want to be like their peers on the northern side. It's like, did they not remember there's a massive garbage dump in their city?
Right.
Well, we have a vision for the city.
Yeah.
That's great. It's great. It's great. But there's like a massive pile of garbage there. And that's like all we think about. And I don't, it's frustrating.
They're here to stay. They ain't going anywhere.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, I got some news. Thought this was interesting. It says, is the other shoe dropping for Scott Everett's S2 Capital?
Oh, whoa. What?
Yeah. Holes are forming in Scott Everett's shield against the multifamily distress that consumed other syndicators. His Dallas-based firm, S2 Capital, is facing foreclosure on an Arlington apartment complex. According to, this was my favorite part of the article, according to Roddy's foreclosure listing service. I didn't know they were still in business.
I thought they went out of business.
I thought they went out of business too. Like, I want to go find them now.
Did someone buy them out of foreclosure?
I don't know, but like, we were Roddy disciples.
Oh, man. That was the way to go back in the day.
We took their little class, like their little seminar class, all that stuff.
Yeah, called the helpline.
S2 has appeared to have defaulted on a $36 million mortgage provided by CBRE for Presley Apartments at 2504 Ivy Brook Court. The 290-unit apartment complex was built in 1981, and the loan works out to $124,000 per unit. That sounds pretty high. I don't know what apartments trade for, but $124,000 per door, and that's your debt. That sounds, I don't know. Maybe they traded 150. I don't know. Let's see. Without a deal to work out the default, the property will hit the auction block July 1. Lambert used to handle the company's media relations, but as a representative said, the firm no longer represents S2 and there's no contact information on S2's website. Everett has staved off the distress creeping into his multi-billion-dollar portfolio with a creative solution. Last year, he launched the biggest private REIT to shield his syndicated deals from the floating rate debt that drowned others. So this was the thing about Scott Everett. He was the champion of floating rate debt, and you're a fool if you don't take it.
Yeah.
And doubled down on it on Chris Powers' podcast.
Okay.
Saying, I still made the right decision. Double down, floating rate debt. So it wasn't a perfect solution. Plenty of his LPs felt coerced into the conversion, and his portfolio still took a hit with maneuver coming out to 93 cents on the dollar. Plus, the firm is still burdened by the yoke of its promise of its value add plan. Everett then capitalized on his survivor status by taking a big bite of syndicators GVA's distress mess. S2 joined as a general partner on the $60 million recapitalization deal. Man. So he went and, he keeps doubling down on looks like some bad ideas. So, but he was also part of the, LP Whisperer Twitter guy that was shitting all over everybody. He was going after S2 pretty hard because, well, this is something that's interesting. I was meeting with someone last week about a new potential LP to meet with me, and he said, I'm in a couple of this dude's deals. He goes, and one of them I haven't seen a dime in 3 years, but I see him flying on a private jet everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, that was a big thing of Scott Everett. Like he's building like a 15,000 foot house in Cabo, and his wife's posting it and all this stuff. And I don't know, man. You gotta be careful about lifestyle when you're handling other people's money.
Yeah.
So
you need to be very conscious of that.
Yeah. So, anyways, this could be a crack in the armor. So who knows?
Yeah, maybe I'll have to dial back Cabo to 10,000 feet.
Yeah,
I mean, what do you do? What do you do in 15,000 feet?
That's not your primary residence.
Yeah, just get like a humble.
You don't got that many kids. Like, you just fill it up with kids. Just 15 kids, and you still got 1,000 square feet each. Like shit, sounds luxurious.
Well, I mean, I was just talking to an investor of ours the other day, and he had an apartment deal that he was in as an investor, and it just in San Antonio, and it just went back to the bank. They're all wiped out.
Wow.
So I guess there's something to be said about someone that has to sign personal recourse and you're investing with them, because all these apartment deals are non-recourse, right? They just toss the keys back and move on down the road.
Yeah, and I've heard you mention about these people will lose money in deals and then go back to the same guy and do it again.
Yeah, people will they'll still raise money. It might not be the same people, but like other people will just invest with them, where I feel like if I ever lose a deal, like we're done.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I'm probably cutting a check into the deal first.
Right.
I'm probably stepping in line first on those things. So, all right, Jeff had some news.
Oh, yeah. So I have fond memories of this TV station as a kid. Can you remember KERA?
Yes. Oh, yes.
Can you remember the programming? What you might have watched?
Was KERA channel 11 or 13? It was channel 13.
13.
Right? So I feel like Bob the painter guy was on there. Probably little trees,
Bob Ross.
Bob Ross, yeah.
I'm sure Bob Ross was on there.
Isn't KERA the local PBS station in DFW?
Right, you're correct, Will. You're correct, and you're showing your far left leaning ways.
Yes.
Well, I remember back in the day, I watched Sesame Place
Yep.
on here.
Mm-hmm.
Grimace. Still don't know what Grimace was. Looked like a hemorrhoid that was purple. That's a bad hemorrhoid, folks. And Mr. Rogers.
Mr. Rogers. Yeah.
And was H&R Puffin stuff on there, or was that too weird? I don't know if that was a PBS show. That was more of a psychedelic show of the 70s. But anyway, KERA's Dallas broadcasting headquarters is getting demolished for a new mixed-use development. The building will not be imploded, but it'll be disassembled brick by brick. Oh, what a grinder. Including the dismantling of a 300-foot radio transmission tower to make way for what is known as Chalk Hill. So this is Gary Pito lives right next to this site. It's the north end of the Hardwood District.
Okay.
The new mixed-use project is expected to add over 400,000 square feet of office space, 217 luxury hotel spaces, and 61 luxury condominiums, and multiple restaurants. Kazim Development Partners CEO Derek Evers said Chalk Hill will create not just a trophy asset, but an iconic contribution to the city and to the community. He's a community builder with this luxury stuff. Kazim has developed trophy office space near Uptown Dallas with the Link at Uptown, an office tower built in 21 that is more than 97% leased. The developer is also teaming up with HN Capital on the hotel. The Uptown Dallas area continues to be one of the most sought-after office markets in the U.S., said Blake Shipley of JLL, who is helping oversee Chalk Hill's office leasing. Anyway, so what's cool is KERA is going to move to downtown Dallas temporarily. Mm-hmm. And then once this project is complete, they're going to move back to the site and occupy space and get Grimace out there and have a Sesame Place going again.
Well, I looked it up, and in fact, Bob Ross' show, The Joy of Painting, was indeed featured on KERA.
Nice. Nice. You got to get him on your podcast.
I think he's dead.
Oh. Sorry, Bob. R.I.P.
Stay hard, Bob.
Yeah. So that's an interesting downtown Dallas thing.
Will, you got anything?
Well, just off of the KERA, I'm a big fan of Ken Burns. If you guys have watched any of his documentaries, like the Civil War and Vietnam, highly recommend. Ken Burns was also just on Rogan, which I was really excited about. And his entire career has been supported by PBS. He's never gone on, Netflix or Paramount or any Warner Brothers. He's never been out in Hollywood, sponsored by one of the big media groups. His entire platform has been built on PBS. So that is why I am a fan of KERA. The only reason. So
I like it too. It's fun. It's the granola in you.
Well, that's it's good. We made sure you weren't total lib,
right?
So.
Well, the good thing about like the public broadcasting station is also it's how like Middle America really gets a lot of their news, right? They got a lot of agricultural information on there, the weather, I'm sure that's a pretty big thing probably in the 90s in Graham, right? Where you're kind of outside of DFW and where people kind of getting their news from, this stuff like that. So, but what do I know? I always listen to the city. So, news from me, U.S. consumer spending drops in May. Price pressures remain muted. This is from Bloomberg. U.S. consumer spending declined 0.3% in May, the most since the start of the year, indicating uncertainty around the Trump administration's economic policies is weighing on growth. The decline in spending was broad-based and coincides with depressed consumer sentiment this year in response to President Trump's unpredictable trade policy. Personal income fell in May by the most since 2021, while wages climbed 0.4 for a second month, indicating consumers have the wherewithal to continue spending, which, you know, it is really bizarre because I feel like the three of us, and at least I've heard this from a lot of different people. You go out to a restaurant on a Thursday night and it's packed.
How about Monday?
Like last Monday?
Monday night.
Yeah.
Where was this?
We went to Haywire in Legacy West to have dinner with somebody, and I didn't get a reservation. It was Monday.
Mm-hmm.
I walk in, they go, it's an hour wait. I was like, what?
Wow.
And then we went to North Italia the next night at Legacy West for Layla's birthday. If we didn't have a reservation, we would have not gotten in there. It was packed.
Yeah.
These trying times we live in, Jeff.
Yeah. There's a lot of blood in the streets, right?
Yeah, I went to Texas Roadhouse on a Friday in Kentucky, where I should have known the atmosphere a little bit better. But like, I was like, oh, let's go here. You know, we're in between doing stuff. Hour and a half wait. I was like, damn. All right,
man. People outside of Texas love Texas Roadhouse.
Yeah.
Like
it was jammed.
Like when I'm in Florida, they're like, you want to go to Texas Roadhouse? And I'm like, really? seems like a off-branded Chili's to me.
Yeah.
But they love it, man. Good job, Texas Roadhouse, out of state business.
2 Fed governors appointed by Trump have said that they support a rate cut as soon as the next policy meeting on July 29th and through the 30th if inflation remains muted. So sounds like we're going to see some rates drop here, boys.
Well, I heard last week they were talking about loosening the reserve limits and stuff at the bank. So I think Trump's trying to slowly massage other facets of the financial market to make it easier to borrow money.
Yep.
So banks can lend more money and not have because, you know, they're always hawking you for deposits, right?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. And so if they loosen that, they won't have to bug you so much about that.
Yeah. Yeah, we got the deposit talk the other day on a renewal.
Oh, you did when you were out west?
No, when we were just working a renewal on a loan, they're like, well, you know, when it comes up again, we need to talk about some more deposits. Like,
but what's meaningful?
I don't know.
I mean, you're talking about a rent deposit. It's not.
Yeah,
it's not like you're going to park $5 million over there.
Yeah,
It's not like you're selling jet skis and you need an operating account.
You want a jet ski?
Are you going to be on a jet ski later this week?
Yeah, Kenny Powers in it.
Nice.
Well, really no sports to talk about, so we skipped that, but
yeah,
we're going to get fired up on these conference previews coming out. First one, 28th episode. End of the month, we'll start rolling out. Unless we get really, really, you know, ambitious and do some Mid-American conference or something like that.
Yeah, we probably just need to do vacation talk until...
Hey, you know, here's what we could do. This is very Dave Campbell's-ish. We can just do a cumulative Texas. We'll take all the other Texas schools that aren't in a Power 4 conference and we'll just do a little report on them. That'll be like a preview. You know, like
all the
so like UTSA, North Texas, what conference they're in, what they're looking like in that conference. We'll just do a Texas preview.
A Texas preview. Okay.
I like that. That'd be fun.
Yeah. Can we dig deep into the D3s of the world?
We can go as deep as you want. A little McMurray State action.
I think after reading The Perfect Pass, that book kind of intrigued me into the world of D3. I don't know why, but I just it was just interesting to hear how Mike Leach, how he grew in that system, and how they took over a school, and I think it was Kentucky Wesleyan,
Iowa Wesleyan,
Iowa Wesleyan.
Yeah.
So I'd like when does Dave Campbell's come out?
I don't know. It's here pretty. It's usually like right after the 4th of July. We're due.
We are due, and
it's getting close.
We might have to have a public reading. You know?
Oh, I could do that. I'm down. We get T-Hub in here on that one. He'd love.
Yeah, T-Hub. I listened to y'all's show this last week, and he's a Dave Campbell's genius.
Oh yeah, P1 from day one. Let's see. Does ChatGPT know? All I know is the day I find it, I buy like 4 copies so I can have one in like every place I might live.
Yeah, you'll have to have one at the cabin this year. I left you a few of the relics from years gone by. Mid-July. It just says mid-July.
Yeah.
Or whatever I'm looking at says that.
It's always some random Saturday morning that I go to the grocery store and I'm like, ooh, it might be time.
Yeah.
And I go back and find the magazine section and I'm like, yes.
Yeah, since we don't have Playboy anymore, it's basically like that Playboy. You're like, oh my gosh.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Cindy Crawford? Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Depth charts and rosters. Let's go.
Yes. Something my wife won't get mad about me looking at. So,
okay. Well, that's all I got.
Okay.
Y'all enjoy halftime.
Have a good week.
I know y'all are taking 2 weeks off. See ya. Bye.